up? What up?
Ooh, welcome back. What's poppin', man? What's going on?
Man, we got a good drink, man. We got some shit happening this week. Let's get it started, man. Welcome back, everybody.
Let's go
to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with the drink of the day.
Hey man, we listened. It is Negroni week, so in honor of Negroni week, we wanted to throw down a Negroni, and we've done a few on here before, but I've never done a variation of this period.
Yeah, this
I've never tried it.
Yeah,
it's a chocolate Negroni. They said it's different, and it doesn't lose that like Negroni taste.
Oh, it's definitely there. Yeah.
Like it's there, but you can definitely tell it's different. It's awesome, man. I got this recipe from, I want to shout out The Educated Barfly on IG is where I got the idea and the drink from, and just the way he built it in the glass and all that stuff. So I wanted to sort of follow the same technique that he used. So shout out to The Educated Barfly. But in a rocks glass, basically, you put in a giant ball of ice, about 3 dashes of chocolate bitters, 3/4 of an ounce of Campari, 3/4 of an ounce of vermouth, 1/4 ounce of creme de cacao, and then an ounce of gin. We're using that Tanqueray 10 this week, and that's it. Stir that really, really well, and then garnish with an orange wedge. Though the orange wedge, and again, I got this idea from him. If you eat the actual orange or you squeeze it into it, it changes the complexity of the drink or the flavor, like. And it actually does make a difference. Like I took a bite of the orange and then had the drink, and it is different. And so you had brought up a good point. I was like, I'm gonna have to try this as like muddling that orange.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But he was like just squeezing it in there or just taking a bite of it and drinking. It's so good, man. I think this is one of those I'll add to my like normal rotation of like a Friday night drink that I'm just having at home watching a movie or whatever. Yeah.
So you said this is Negroni week.
Yeah, Negroni week, the 16th through the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. Every September is like Negroni week. So you'll see a lot of people putting up Negroni recipes, but then if you go to restaurants, you'll see a lot of their drink specials, a lot of their drinks for those weeks at their own limited time are usually Negronis. I don't know if Orlando's really big. I've been in New York around this time of the year, and everyone's doing like their variation on Negroni. And it's a great city to get a Negroni, and there's like obviously like a lot of Italian influence and
Is there a reason why like this like this week?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Historical
I don't
reference?
know. I know it always just happens to fall, but I don't really know what the like history is behind it. I probably should, but yeah, it's always because I'm almost positive if we go back a year from now for the pod. I think we did it this week too.
Really?
We did a Negroni.
Yeah, I don't remember you saying in Negroni week, but we definitely have done.
Negroni. And it wasn't. And I don't know. We did this maybe a couple months ago a Negroni, and it wasn't for Negroni week, obviously. Like it was just we just wanted to do Negroni. But
and you know what? That cream de cacao is it chocolate flavored? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So chocolate flavored and chocolate bitters. And the only variation I did from his, I did the Mexican chocolate bitters, which a little bit different, but still chocolate. I mean, it still tastes really, really good. It's funny. There's so many bottles on here, and it looks intimidating. And you were watching me make it, and you're like, bro, I gotta get home.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's actually slightly less alcohol in this than a regular Negroni, because typically you would do an ounce of each one.
Yep.
And so what I did was basically the 1 and then 3/4, and then 1/4. So it's like a quarter of an ounce short of what it normally goes into there, but it looks like it's a lot more when you look at everything sort of laid out.
You look at the fucking bottles on the table.
Yeah. Because you're thinking 1. It's like but it's actually technically slightly less than a normal one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still good. Slaps. I like it, man. I think I'm adding this to the rotation. Especially, I don't know what else I'm going to use the creme de cacao on, so I'm going to have to go through that bottle. I'm going to have to find recipes for just that.
Yeah. Bro, I got to grab this thing off the floor, man.
Oh, you stepping on it?
Yeah, this thing fell down on me, man. So I got to grab this off.
It was propped up.
Put it over
signage,
to the side, man. That's right.
Our signage. It was propped up.
All right, man. Hit him with the carbon footprint of the week.
Bro, this is a to be continued of our carbon footprint we did a couple months ago. I don't
know when that was. When was that raid? Is that the beginning of the year?
Maybe May-ish.
Was it?
Maybe, yeah, at least 3-4 months ago now. So this is like, I feel like we're watching a series right now, and we're like at the mid-season finale. And for y'all that don't know what we're talking about is Diddy, P Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, is just got arrested.
Yeah,
And
Sean Combs.
Sean Combs just got arrested. Bro, your boy's going to jail probably forever. Not probably. He's going to jail forever, bro. I'm going to just go ahead and say it.
So what are his charges?
Everything, bro. This motherfucker got in charge. Bro, he getting charged with Tupac murder, Biggie murder, RFK, JFK, CPK. Bro, I think they're blaming OJ's wife that saying Diddy really did it. Like, this shit is out of hand. Have you seen?
I thought it was just like racketeering.
It's racketeering, bro. It's human trafficking. It's
right.
fucking, yeah.
What is racketeering?
It's the shit the mob gets charged with all the time. Racketeering is basically where you create like a like some kind of scheme that's like it's like a fake a scheme that you use to sort of get money from people. You create sort of an enterprise behind it. So like the mob does it where like, hey, we'll offer you protection in exchange for this, payment. You sort of have to, you just make up basically these schemes for money that are kind of like scams. You know what I mean? Like, so essentially, I guess in like layman's terms, that's what racketeering is.
Right.
Yeah.
They always go with shit that's like. Shit that's fucked up, right? They go like, that's a racket.
That's a racket. Yeah. It's like you're gonna pay us to
like if you're getting cheated
to collect garbage, and like really the city collects garbage, and then it's just
insurance. It's a racket.
Yeah. So he's getting charged with that, which I think again, I think we talked about this on here. There's been rumors for a very long time about Diddy involved in a lot of shit. There's weapons charges in there, bro. There's like weapons possessions. They found AKs with defaced serial numbers.
So they found weapons like that too.
Yeah. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil, which that in itself should get you life in prison.
And lubricant.
You know what kind of menace you gotta be to have 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube, bro? You kind of diabolical shit are you up to? I don't care how much you need 1,000.
How are you getting that?
Bro, I mean, you just send in the Farnsworth. What's the dude who always in the Diddy video with the fucking umbrella? Farnsworth Bentley? You just sending him to Costco?
Why do you know that guy's name?
I'm a 90s baby, or I'm a late 90s, early 2000s teenager who watched a lot of TRL, and all I saw was fucking Farnsworth Bentley holding the fucking umbrella, fanning down Diddy. But bro, he's like, he got charged with so much shit. I'm like, he's never getting out. And then I think we talked about this when the raid initially happened. The feds don't come after you unless the feds absolutely know it's too expensive.
Like, right, they
have you like dead to rights. Yeah. So, and their conviction rate is like 99%. It's something really stupid. Like, they got like Steph Curry's 3-point shooting percentage for convictions. Like they're just insane, or even better.
Dude, so I saw that he was denied bail. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think they sort of had this thing. So Diddy knew that this was coming. Diddy and his lawyers like knew this was coming, and they sort of had this like bail plan already like put in place. It was almost $50 million.
He offered as a bail package,
right? Yeah. And that he would essentially be under like house arrest during his bail time, right before trial.
Yeah, he said I'll stay in Miami or New York,
right? And even said, I won't have any women. Like one of the things was like, I won't have any women in the house.
Yo, I don't think women is what we got to worry about. Are you buying lube? Are you buying lube and baby oil?
He's committing that bicho on bicho crime.
I didn't know you needed baby oil to dock. I was like, bro. Dude, what are you using?
I thought women produce that shit naturally.
They do, unless.
But guys don't.
But exactly, unless, man, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna word this. No, unless they don't want to be there, right? Like they're not, so
right.
Or all you're doing is anal, which because bro, 1,000 bottles of like, Diddy's like, bring me some ass. I don't care where it comes from, male or women. That's the most diabolical shit I've ever heard in my life. 1,000, bro, dude. There's
that's just.
There's not even warehouses at Lube who could fulfill that order. Diddy has become the fucking supplier of the entire southeast of the United States of America.
That's
for
fucking
lube
nuts,
and
man. You know now the
that's
whole
the number that was most shocking to me. That I went, he's guilty. I don't even need to see the rest of the indictment, bro.
That's probably what the judge said too. He was like, "Wait a minute, 1,000 bottles."
Did you see the press
No,
conference?
bro. No.
With the God, bro, we seeing a fucking federal officer have to say freak offs in an indictment several times when he's reading it. He's like, we found evidence of the freak offs, and I go, why are we calling them freak offs? Is there like an official term? Like what determines that it is a freak off at that point?
Yeah, right. Like, would you describe it as like an orgy? I imagine. I
think
know.
so, unless that's not what's happening. Like they're like, no, there's got to be.
It's a new name.
There's a new name for this. This is so wild.
Of course it is, man. Diddy created it.
Diddy filled the pool with oil. He's got all kinds of shit, bro. Dude, and then every Diddy song would just pop into my head the whole time. Where he's like, yo, the sun don't shine forever. I'm like, not for you, buddy. You never gonna see that shit again. I was like, he been telling us forever, can't stop, won't stop. I'll be missing you. He was talking about that as
people will show you who they are. Believe them.
Believe them. He been telling us over and over and over again, bro. I was like, bro, this guy,
with this shit, I'm actually more like, okay, he didn't get bail, whatever, man. I'm wondering now, because he's been that guy. He's been in the spotlight for many years. He's responsible for a lot of careers. And this shit going on, how many people, famous people, are gonna be named, right? Because
he not going quietly, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Diddy named everybody.
Not like he's not gonna take the rap for everything, right?
No,
he's gonna
bro.
be like, them guns with the scratched off serial numbers. Oh yeah, so and so brought that shit.
Oh, you remember that scene? You ever watched the movie Ted with the talking teddy bear?
Yes.
When Mark Wahlberg is going through it and they naming girls, he's like, you remember that girl that ended with a thing? And he goes like, Felicia, Patricia, the thing. And he's just naming, that's going to be Diddy behind in that interrogation room. He'll be back there like, Common, Rick Ross,
dude.
Drake.
It's going to, and then the other thing is, man, wasn't it, was it Epstein or was it Ghislaine Maxwell, the one where they had the cameras pointing at the cell, but then the cameras got pointed away?
Epstein. Yeah,
it was Epstein,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, does that shit happen to Diddy?
He gonna name him too? Oh, where he gets all because they're afraid he gonna talk.
Yeah,
it depends if you got some powerful figures.
If you got powerful, right? You got somebody from BlackRock in there. Or some
he's
shit.
the powerful figure in the whole thing. But I don't. But you're right. I don't think so either, bro.
Too much in the spotlight.
I think
bro.
Diddy's just the sort of the poster child for the organization, but he's not the organization. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, you get like a powerful organization, and I like a BlackRock or a Vanguard, right? You get people that are sort of high up in that.
Bro, some fucking CEO of Goldman Sachs or something crazy.
Shit.
Like, something will pop up. Like, I'm sure. He's and Diddy singing, bro. Diddy singing, and Diddy can't sing, so he's just gonna be out there just can't sing, he can't rap.
Yep. Fuck your dreams.
Fuck your dreams. Dude, we had talked about this. I go, this guy was like the soundtrack to a lot of our lives. Like, not even our lives, but just like a really big part. Like, there's a Diddy song for like every era in sort of like our coming of age, if you will. At least for me, like that I can remember. Right? Like I can remember as young. It's all about the Benjamins.
I was like early adult.
Yeah, see, so like for me, man, like you're talking like I remember Diddy the backup dancer, right? And I remember Diddy with Biggie and obviously in all the music videos with him and doing that, and then him going out on his own. And there isn't a time in like my sort of adolescence where there wasn't like he wasn't the guy sort of responsible for like pop culture and what we thought was cool, whether it was how we dressed, whether it was the shit we sang, whether it was like, so it is kind of sad to like see this, like you go like, man, this person that you sort of who was just so influential, I think, and bro, we were all wearing Sean John at a point in time, right? Like the velour suits, right, came from Diddy's, the dancing, dude, it was Harlem shaking all the time and Diddy bopping, and like it was. like all that shit now, not that it matters less, because I mean it is what it is, bro. Like we all still listen to Michael Jackson, and you know.
Oh yeah, the music never goes away.
Do shit, yeah. Chris Brown stuff still popping. You know, like the entertainment never goes away, but it is like you do have to sort of like think about it twice now. You know, like when an R. Kelly song comes on, you're like, man, this shit is a bop, but also, you know who else is getting bopped? It's just like,
Nah, man. I think about him, and it's the same thing. I was sort of like early adulthood, and then even, you know, it's funny, man. Like I'm listening to Diddy, and then, you know, even when you and I worked together, like there was still things popping off from him with other people and new artists and stuff like that, man. And so it is. It's almost like an end of an era, and I'm more concerned of just like what happens to him. And obviously he's probably, just based on the charges, right? He's probably done some real foul shit.
Oh,
and, you know, I've heard some stories of sort of well-known people that say that this dude has even been removed from parties because he just gets fucking crazy. Obviously has been videotaped.
I mean, we see videos of him doing wild shit,
fucking women. And so you can only imagine what goes on behind closed doors. I can't imagine what it's like to be that powerful. I can't imagine what it's like to be in a position to where people are willing, because some of this shit, when you say like coercion is illegal, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to figure there's been people in these situations that could have just said no and walked away, but chose to stay because they want their career.
Yeah.
Right. And so for those folks, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Like that, you sold your soul in those situations.
And I agree, even with the weird charges of the trafficking, and I don't know if this is all of them, but a good chunk of that is women that you flew in basically to have sex with, which right. I go.
You knew?
Like that one's a weird one. Again, and maybe there's other ones that don't fit this mold, but from the initial ones that I saw, it's basically, hey, you want to come in, and the whole idea behind you coming to see me wherever I am is like to fuck, and then so now that's automatically trafficking because sort of the business or the purpose of the trip was to have sex. I'm like, that's a weird one, because every famous person then traffics somebody. Because you're gonna tell me, first off, you can find someone in whatever city you're in if you're Diddy, so you shouldn't have to fly them in. But if you do, because you have the means, or you have your favorites, or you have whatever it is, right. It's like that's a tough charge to swallow. But I also think that it isn't that cut and dry. I also think there is a common sense prevails in these cases. Like I don't think the feds or anybody's charging you because you hit up some girl and you're like, hey, fly to the city. To bang. Like I think there's something else there, or it's just on top of whatever else we have on you, and they're just trying to make it, sort of like build the case against you, if you will.
Yeah, because I mean, part of that stuff is character, right? So you're going, absolutely, you're trying to prove the character of this person and what they're what they're capable of.
Yeah, and listen, there's been rumors about him for a long time, and it's funny, man. There's been a lot of conspiracies behind him where you just like, man, those are far fetched. Like I'm not gonna listen to that shit, and now you're like, well, damn, you're like, bro, where there's smoke, man, there's always
But not for nothing, bro. You see images of him that were taken. He is around so many famous, prominent figures, and I'll just say,
I mean, he's a billionaire, right?
Right. He did reach that.
Right? Yeah, you don't reach that on your own, and without some, influential friends. But also, that also means you're not hanging out with people in Harlem anymore,
right?
Yeah, you're like you said, you're gonna be hanging out with, like the who's who of social circles and of power, and like you said, like I can't even imagine what it's like to be under that influence, like,
dude. Because I think that when you get to a status like that, you're almost like an untouchable, or at least maybe you feel that way, right? Like people are throwing themselves at you. People want to do shit for you, and then I wonder if over time that just becomes like,
normal.
Oh yeah, like you're supposed to want to do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's been famous so long and has had sort of access for so long that you kind of have to lose sense of like the reality and what's like against the law and what's like,
it's a new reality, right? But this is his reality.
Yeah, and this isn't an excuse for him by any means, but it's just like it's a reality of like the sort of the life he lives
Dude,
and has lived, and that he's curated for himself,
Yeah.
right? As a powerful individual, he's created this life where he felt like he can do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
And listen,
I
I'm
don't
not
feel-
a moralist by any means.
No,
It's like,
man.
yeah.
I don't feel sorry for him, but I do have empathy for. I could imagine what that life that he led, like what that could lead someone to do if you're not a disciplined person and you don't keep yourself in check.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. That's why I always have empathy for like the Biebers of the world, where like, you know, they fuck up and they do stuff and they get in trouble, and you know, you get these videos and people are. And I'm always thinking like, bro, you gave this kid the keys of the world at 14.
Right.
We're not supposed to be like that as 40-year-olds. Like, let alone a 14-year-old. Like, I would be fucking insufferable if you gave me what you gave Justin Bieber at 14. I'm like, so yeah, the kid's gonna have a couple videos of fucking speeding down, you know, the causeway in Miami and wrecking his, you know, Lambos and, you know, yelling shit and throwing stuff and vandalizing. I'm like, yeah, he's fucking 14 and you gave him the keys to the world, man.
Yeah, right.
And then everyone bent over backwards for him. It was like,
Yeah, so that becomes your normal.
it becomes your normal, and you turn into a fucking shithead because we're not, dude. As human beings, I don't think we're designed to have that level of access and have that level of, I don't want to call it freedom, but that level of power of
It's power, bro.
Yeah, being able to have anything you want at your disposal whenever you want. You know, it's, you're not used to hearing a lot of no's.
Right.
You know, it's just we're not designed for that, man.
No, definitely not, bro.
And so, yeah, this is gonna be. It's so fascinating to watch this shit play out, man. Like there's so many funny fucking angles to this whole thing. I still can't get over the baby oil and all that stuff. And then, yo, if you're a guy, are you coming out? Like, is Terry Crews finally gonna tell us that Diddy's the one that fucked him?
Why you got to my man, man?
Terry Crews is always talking about that he has some Hollywood people get on him. Remember he had the little sob story about he got Me Too'd or whatever. I'm like, yo, did Diddy Me Too Terry Crews, bro? Is that what's gonna happen here?
Is that right, bro?
Yeah, dude, Terry Crews. I couldn't feel bad for him because he's Terry Crews and he's ginormous. And I'm, you know, I don't want to belittle his pain. I mean, I do. He's fucking Terry, but
he has come out and said that.
Yeah,
like,
he got Me
in
Too.
Hollywood.
Yeah. When the whole Harvey Weinstein all that shit was popping out, he was one of those dudes.
He
that
was
came
like,
out
"Oh, Harvey,"
and was
I
like,
suck Harvey's dick.
Yeah,
too.
he was like, Harvey gave me back shots for white chicks.
I had to learn all those songs too.
I think the worst shit about the Harvey is that the one thing you hear is that, or there's pictures of it. He's got like an ugly, like deformed dick. Have you seen
no.
this? Yeah. Harvey Weinstein evidently has like his dick looks like it's been in like a mulcher. And so it's like the women is like, I go, oh, that was the problem. It was like, it wasn't even so, it was like, it was already bad that he made us do stuff, but he's made us do stuff with like that. Yeah, evidently it's like this dick looks like it got ran through a paper shredder.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, are we gonna find out Terry Crews? That's what he had to deal with? Nah, I really do feel bad that he had to take Diddy with all that oil. All the baby oil. It's like, bro, Diddy meant business, dog. Yeah, imagine you get called to Diddy house for a party, a freak off, and you walk in, and you know how like a lot of people have like bars in their house, especially at that level, and you probably have cabinets full of liquor and all the liquor you can imagine. Diddy probably had Cristal and fucking Ciroc everywhere and all that, and then there's just a whole wall of fucking KY
and lube
and baby oil.
And like, wait a minute, what's that
for? And he's like, go
and
grab a bottle and bring it back.
And why is it at the bar?
And he's like, don't worry about it. Grab one and come back here. Sit on my lap.
Wait a minute, take your pants down
And
first.
Terry Crews is like, well, Harvey just had me do the same thing.
And then, man, all of y'all do this?
How bad do you want to be? And everybody hates Crews. Bro,
I mean, that's fucking sad, man. But fuck, man.
I like how we laughed about this for 10 minutes.
Dude, it's fucking sad, bro. Terry Crews, and again, I don't know that we don't know that Terry Crews and Diddy had anything, right? But Terry Crews, my first exposure to Terry Crews was that show Battle Dome. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Battle Dome was like an American Gladiator.
Nickname Diddy gave him.
His name on the show was fucking T Money.
Oh fuck. Sorry, go ahead. Battle Dome.
But no, Battle Dome, man. It was like an American Gladiators meets professional wrestling, essentially.
Okay.
And it's my first like exposure to him, and he was a bad motherfucker on that show.
On that show?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was. He was just like he was fucking killing these dudes because they were even though they had their personas.
Yeah.
They were trying to wreck these guys. And it was almost like average Joes against these gladiators in these little events or whatever,
for
right?
American Gladiators or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very much like that.
Okay.
But yeah, man, Terry Crews. I've watched him kind of grow his career. So man, I didn't know he was part of that shit. I didn't know he got me. I'm
pretty sure he got me too, man. We gotta look him up.
Damn.
Yeah, because he's gonna beat me up, or I'm gonna get sued for that. So I want it to be worth it. So it's gotta be true.
Dude, talking about fucking scratched off.
Actually, he can't beat me up. I'm just gonna pull out a bottle of the lube, like, bro.
You really want to be me?
Like, Sean told me what you about.
Damn, man, that's fucked up, man. How did this turn against my fucking man crush?
That's not boding well for you right now because he take him.
That's it, man.
Take him back.
It's all over, man.
Oh my god.
I gotta find somebody else.
Oh, it's so good.
Yo, talking about the guns with the fucking scratched off serial numbers.
Yeah.
Fucking Trump.
They try to kill him again, right?
Try to kill him again, man.
Did they take shots this time at him?
No. So for those of you not, I mean, this is big news, right? So you guys have probably already seen this. Trump was down in West Palm Beach at a golf course, and the Secret Service spotted this fucking rifle sticking out of like some bushes.
Oh, so the guy didn't take actual shots?
No, they took shots at him.
Oh, and they didn't get him?
No.
Damn.
And so he ran off, and then obviously they caught him. The guy's name is Ryan Wesley Routh.
I'm surprised they caught him alive. You have rifles set up at the side of a president, and I take shots at you, and I miss. What, he runs away? He's too fast? What's happening? This guy's that elusive?
He's ducking behind the palm trees.
Bro, he's Florida. He's a Florida cat? No, or he drove down there from somewhere else, right?
No, I think he's from like the Carolinas, but then he lived in Hawaii as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but his dude camped outside of the golf course with food and the rifle.
Oh, he meant business.
For 12 hours. Oh yeah, this dude was like, he was prepared.
Okay.
And dude, so like obviously he didn't take the shot. Do you think that that's grounds for just getting killed on the spot?
Yeah, probably.
I kind of feel like it should be.
I mean, I know clearly this guy has a mental illness, right? But this is gonna sound fucked up, but what's his contribution to society from this point forward? Like,
well, nothing is gonna be. He's gonna be.
He's not gonna do life though, right? He's probably because he didn't. If he didn't take shots, it's not an attempted assassination, right?
Yeah, but nobody's. You're gonna sit in jail. You're gonna be supported by tax dollars.
Years, you think so? Yeah, but I mean, not life, right? Or not even like a long time, right? Like I don't even know that gets you.
That's true. If he doesn't even take the shot,
he doesn't even take the shot, right? So then it's whatever, trespassing and maybe menacing. I don't know what the fuck the charge is, right? Like so you get that. Let's say he's out 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you're still kind of a waste of space at that point in time. Somebody with that level of mental illness doesn't recover, right? So he needs help. You need to go get him somehow to be a productive member of society, probably medicating him or whatever. I don't know. But to your point, it's like we're just gonna spend time, money, effort.
You can't take that shit out of somebody, man. So this dude,
no, more like yeah.
They were saying that he that he was like very sort of openly supportive of Ukraine, like wanted to go over there, and like fight with them against Russia.
We should have let him.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think that anybody was stopping him. Remember when that shit kicked off? Like there were like former military folks from here that went over there to help.
Yeah, it's fuck. We should have told him to go too, man.
But dude, here's the thing that surprised me about this. A, they didn't kill him, but B, where is like why are we not outraged? Other than maybe Trump supporters, right?
Yeah.
Just as a country, man, like why are we not outraged that this dude has so many or has 2 assassination attempts in what, a month?
I think I think
has it been about a month?
It's been
roughly,
yeah, 2. I think maybe 2. I think it's 9 weeks is what I heard someone quote. So it's been about 2.
Okay.
I think, and this is just like specific to this case, I think the first one people on both sides. I mean, I know there were people on the other side sort of celebrating, which is a little fucked up. I don't care what you think about him, but hoping the guy dies.
No, you shouldn't. No one should be.
I think the reason this one doesn't register is because we don't have the dramatic like video footage. Like, bro, we live in a time now where I think sort of like seeing is believing. Like, otherwise we don't buy it.
Right.
Because we see everything every day. I think we're sort of desensitized to news. It's like video or it didn't happen. And so I think we just haven't registered it, what it means, the same way that like maybe you're thinking about it, because we have to see it. I think if it was on tape again, like if it's Trump golfing and there's a fucking surveillance footage and he's ducking and he gets hit and whatever, and like,
right.
Or even if he doesn't get hit, I think if you witness the chaos, I think it hits us differently than hearing like, oh, some guy was out there, Trump again, had a gun. Because I think we assume that happens to presidents daily anyway. And the Secret Service is thwarting sort of like these attempts all the time. That's sort of like my gut thing is that we don't see it, and so it's not, it doesn't impact us as much because we haven't seen it. I also think, for better or worse, you said, unless you're a supporter of his, I think people just don't give a fuck, man. I just think we're so used to people getting shot or
dude, that's fucked up,
or outlandish shit happening, that something like that wasn't even like the biggest news story that day. Like, I think, did it happen the same day the NFL kicked off too? So we were probably like, yeah, but did the Bengals win?
We're like, can we start this president shit back up in like March?
Yeah, did he die? No, move on. Like, I just think we're at that. I think we're so desensitized to everything, and unless we see it, because think about it now, man. If your neighbor told you a story about a car accident they were in, right? You'd be like, wow, that's wild. But if they showed you the video of them crashing, their car flipped, and they did all that stuff, you'd be like, it would probably affect you more than them telling you. And I think that's sort of what this is now. Is like we're so used to seeing everything all the time, and having access to just the craziest shit every single second of every single day, that I just think hearing, oh, guy, Trump, golf course attempted assassination, and we're like, yeah, but in a video, and we didn't see it, and he's not bleeding, he's not wearing a Band-Aid like Nelly on his ear now or whatever. Like, he's just like, and by the way, he could have milked that shit way longer. I'm surprised he didn't wear the Band-Aid on his ear for like months, bro. I would have never taken that shit off. Like the Trump thing, you got to milk that longer, man.
Yeah,
you would have been winning an election right now if you just milked that shit.
If I'm him, if I'm his family, I'm going, yo, you don't need to do this.
Yeah,
like, you don't even be a part of this anymore.
We're not worth it, Donald.
So you gotta be
fucking
real,
degenerates, bro.
You gotta be a real like narcissist, or you really like over your own life truly give a shit about this country and feel that you're the best person to be at the helm.
Yeah, and I don't think that's it. Now, that being said, I do think, and this isn't specific to Trump, I think you could say this for all of them. I think they all care a little bit, right? Like, they do. I think some of them truly want to be helpful. Right. There's some degree of that, but I think it's your other point is more of, you have to be a sociopath to run for president of the United States, right? Like, I don't, and that's not an opinion. I think that's like factually proven at this point in time, where like, like, to be president of the United States, it requires a level of selfishness and sort of narcissism, and that you have to possess that. He obviously has those traits, right? Like, I think he's like the least sort of questionable of the bunch, because when you hear him talk, you're like, oh, yeah, bro. He's very me, right? Like, I'm the best.
I'm the best, yeah.
And so I think it's ego, man. I think it's ego. I think he's done everything he can do. I think at his age, he's like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, run another hotel, like, open another casino, like,
right. This
start another fake school online. Like, yeah, what the fuck am I going to do? It's like the next, and it's like, it's not only is it the next conquest, it's the conquest of conquest, right? Like, there's only been how many presidents? Less than 50?
Yeah.
And, it's like you get your name in
46?
that. Yeah, I think he was 45, right?
Yeah,
so
45.
It's like, you're one of 45 men in the history of the world who have held this position. Like, I think it's ego, man. There's no other. It's there's no other reason why anyone would want that job, man. Who can make a decent or more than decent living doing anything else, literally anything else.
Yeah, man. I was just surprised that there wasn't sort of more like outrage of like, yo, like what do we do?
Not me, man. I was more surprised that I went, yo, this shit really happened, and I remember I had to like go look for the story.
You did, yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't really like big headlines,
but it didn't shock me. I think because again, I think I'm just so desensitized to like stuff that I'm going. You know, as I see the video, like I think if I would have saw the video, I'd be like, "Yo, that's super wild." I think I saw the headline and I went, "Damn, again? Somebody tried to again?" And then it was like,
I wonder what this does for his campaign. Does it make you go, "Yo, like the machine doesn't want him to be in there, so then therefore I should vote for him," or do you go, "Yo, he's making like his rhetoric is making people go crazy." Like, you take that stance and you go, "No, I don't want him in there because he causes chaos."
I think he would only do that if he created that, like took that narrative, ran with it, and created that energy around it, right? Like, so if he went out on and said like, "They try to kill me again," and then he goes ham on that, and I think he can get people riled up on that.
So he did use that,
but I think he lacks the energy, and I don't know if it's the age. I don't know if it was that first sort of attempt at him. He lacks like the same energy that he did those first few times. Like maybe he just had a bad day against Kamala in that first debate. But even in his rallies now, like there's one thing, like she baited him in to, when she talked about how people weren't going to his rallies anymore and they were walking out, and he fell right into that fucking trap. Because before that, he was actually like speaking, he was actually sort of calm and sort of on script and doing his whole thing. And it was almost like she already had it planned, like, oh, I'm going to use this at some point in time in debate so I can get him off. And it fucking worked like brilliantly.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely worked.
And I think it's like if you watch even the videos now of his rallies and press conferences, the energy isn't there like it used to be. It isn't the spectacle that it used to be. He doesn't have the same energy that he used to. And he's 80, right? Like, or almost.
Damn near, yeah.
It could be that. Again, it could be the assassination attempt. It could be just, I'm fucking tired. I don't really want to win this anymore. I don't know what it is. But
so check this out. So here's what he said. Here's what he told Fox News Digital. He said, Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at. Their rhetoric meaning the lefts, right?
Yeah.
The Democrats. They've taken politics in our country to a whole new level of hatred, abuse, and distrust. It will only get worse. So here's what he's saying with regards to that, right? And I don't necessarily blame him, but again, like it's the whole blaming back and forth shit, man, and I really feel like the Democrats in this case need to really like step up and be like, yo, like this shit gotta stop.
Yeah. I think the difference between like what you just read now and the old Donald was that the old Donald was the drain the swamp Donald, where he would have blamed politicians. What he would have done was he would have blamed sort of the machine. He would have said, like right there, he's just going, oh, the Democrats tried to like, and I think all that does is rile up your own base. Right, because they already hate them, so that's like sort of pointless. The old Donald would have said, "Oh, this is the institution," which you sort of then take everything. Right, you take Republicans and Democrats and all that whole thing. You're like, they don't want me. The establishment doesn't want me here. That's why you guys need to vote for me. And I think that's why he was so successful, right? I think people could look at that and relate to it because they go like, "Oh yeah, I know what these assholes look like who are Republican or who are Democrat and who are this like." But he's saying that he's gonna take all these guys,
or whoever you think is the establishment,
right? And he's going, "Yo, both of these guys are fucked up," because he was like, bashing Republicans back then too. Like his own party didn't like him. And so I think that's the difference that I see now is like he's sort of leaned into the very like far right stuff. And what made him so successful the first time is that I think those people in the middle were kind of like, yeah, man, you know what? I am sick of these fucking same politicians. I don't want another fucking Clinton in there. Maybe there's some stuff in there that's great. It was like that. And in that quote right there, he's like, the old Donald would have jumped on I'm disrupting this and they want me gone. Like the system wants me gone. They don't want me here. And instead, he did the whole Democrats want me gone. And that only works for people who lean far right. That only works for them. And they already are voting for him.
That's a good point. And remember his last commercial that he made, the one where it does that exactly. It just goes. It's like it's an attack against the establishment.
Which that shit was fire.
I thought it was
the
phenomenal.
fucking should have been who's the guy who makes all the mob movies and like The Departed and all that Scorsese. That shit was like a Scorsese cut, bro. I was like, okay, it's a great commercial. I'm like, damn.
Yo, speaking of that, man. So speaking of the presidential shit, what's up with the unions?
Dude, so the union came out this week. Teamsters, largest union in the world, largest organized, I think, has come out and said that they're not endorsing anyone for president.
No, really?
It's the first time in decades that they haven't endorsed. They just said neither candidate supported or proved that they were sort of in support of the union. And one of the interesting that they said was that none of them was sort of confirmed that they would stay out of the way of sort of a union business or or that they would support sort of the union agenda, which means the union right now, there's a lot of big cases right now happening with the different unions of different companies.
Yep.
And so there's strikes that are imminent. And so what they were saying was that they sort of didn't get support from these guys that they should strike and that they would support that they would sort of like lobby for them.
Yep.
And that's why sort of they're like, oh, none of us gave us comfort that they were doing that. I think it speaks to a lot of the space that we're in now. So typically the union supports the Democratic candidate, which is bizarre because you would think like the union represents a lot of like these sort of like blue collar jobs.
Yep.
Which like the Republicans have used a lot lately, like Trump, like, oh, we got to bring back the manufacturing and the coal mines, and
but unions. I mean, I think also, and I used to be a part of a union, at an establishment here, and I always felt like the union would essentially guarantee you raises for time, and for me, like I always felt like it served the people that didn't work hard.
Oh yeah, I would say that time. I same thing, man. I've worked at a couple of places with a union. I've worked at a place where I had to sort of be against the union, if you will, because sort of my team were unions, but I wasn't, and I totally agree.
Yeah, and not saying that. Listen, there's a lot of people that were really for the union that were hard workers. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying at all.
I think my knock on it is what you were saying is that the union does a lot to promote mediocre workers, and it doesn't do anything to separate the good ones.
Right.
And I think that's where I always felt like it does a lot to protect. Like I understand why it was necessary and why it was needed. I think that this shift in the Republicans or the Democrats not supporting sort of the Teamsters union or not backing sort of their thing, it's like it's this big shift now in I think the economics of like, well, we don't think you should strike, like you probably don't feel like you're being abused. It's not popular to say that out loud, so you just don't support their cause. But
right.
I think we're in this era now where like people want to see these massive increases in minimum wage and all this stuff, and I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree with that. I just think the economics don't make sense in certain, like industries.
Correct.
Or they do, but then you can't complain about inflation. Like you can't pay a McDonald's worker $22 and then complain that your Big Mac is $14. Like you can't have both. So it's like the same group is complaining about both, right? It's like, yeah, you're only going to get, and then they're going to say, oh, well, they're making crazy profits. It's like asking someone to take less profit so that you can afford food. Like that's,
yeah, good luck.
That's a you problem. Just don't buy the product, right? Like
right. There's like you said, there is a way to fight that.
Yeah,
and it's not by complaining.
Correct. And so, yeah, I think it just speaks to the shift, I think, in the mindset and the economics on both parties. So I'm curious to see where sort of they go in terms of like combating, yes, there should be something done about certain wage gaps in certain industries. Absolutely. And then what they do about bringing, what their economic policy is. I think the knock on a lot of them during their debate was none of them really laid out a foundation of what they had. Like Trump was like, I have you
got ideas.
The ideas of a plan, but I don't actually have the plan. And then
right.
Kamala has nothing. And I'm like, you've been in office for 3.5 years now. And then on your website, you didn't even have your platform or the things you stood for up until recently. And I'm like, you probably should have had that figured out,
yeah.
or had some policy figured out ahead of time. So I'm kind of curious to see what that means for them in terms of where they stand, because it is going to go against sort of the traditional standing of where they've been. Dude, the Teamsters have been. They endorsed Gore, Kerry, Obama twice, Hillary, and Biden. So
wow.
They've, that's at least 20 years of presidential.
And so for them to pull out now.
Yeah, it's a very interesting space to be in for sure, man. So we'll see where that goes.
Dude, I gotta tell you about this shit, man, because this made me think about you.
Okay, this is gonna. I don't like where this is going already.
The U.S. Navy.
Okay.
They have launched their first co-ed submarine. Okay.
I didn't even know this was a thing, by the way. I didn't know that there was an all men's and all women's. I'm guessing there's all men. There's just not an all women's one.
I don't know for a fact, but that sounds right.
There's definitely probably no men's, but probably not an all
probably
women's.
Not an all women's, right? The name of this, because it's just like they're just like ships. They all have names, right?
The submarines, okay.
Submarine, USS New Jersey.
That's the co-ed one?
This is the co-ed one. So it's a nuclear-powered fast attack sub. It's the first fully integrated submarine built for both male and female sailors.
How do you build it for both?
I'm going to tell you how. So this is the first one in their 100-year history of submarines.
Okay. Submarines have been around for 100 years?
100 years, man, I guess so. So modifications aboard the ship included more doors and washrooms to install, separated sleeping and bathing areas.
Okay.
Lowering overhead valves and making them easier to turn, and installing steps in front of triple high bunk beds and stacked laundry machines.
Bro, steps in front of bunk beds is funny as fuck. Because they can't hop up to the top.
They can't climb.
And if any of you have ever had to help a woman get the thing in the kitchen, the tall cabinets, you always have to have the step stool, or they're like, can you go reach this for me? That shit's funny as fuck now when you think about people in a combat vessel, and they're like, can you help me get up on my bed? Give me a boost. And
or like some of those valves, right? Again, I've never been on a sub, and I wish, man, we got a friend of the show that used to be on the sub. I wish I
gotta get him on.
I gotta get him on, man.
Yeah, because if you turn this valve, whatever happens, you turn it the wrong way, or they fuck this up.
Well, I don't know if you can turn it the wrong way, but they were saying they're making these valves easier to turn.
So they just motorize it.
I don't know.
So that they don't have to. They just press a button.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like, is that equality?
How many pissed off men?
Bro, y'all couldn't do this shit before?
Y'all couldn't do that shit before? Like, I wanted it easier to turn too. Fuck. Could have used that energy doing something useful for you guys. Instead, I was turning the valve. Bro, there's no such thing as equality, bro.
No, man, there's really not, bro. But they were saying, man, that I guess the Navy has seen a number of female officers double. And enlisted sailors in the submarine force triple in the last 5 years. And a sub holds anywhere between 120 to 140 sailors per sub.
Yo, how many fucking freak offs are we about to have in a sub? How many Diddy parties? How many bottles of liquor on that bitch?
Send over the baby oil, baby.
Send over the
Because that's the other thing, man. When you get co-ed, like, listen, and
you're asking for
and in the military, bro. Yo, because women are sort of the minority. There's just less women in the military than there are men. You don't even have to be hot.
So I was gonna say, are they elevated by the surrounding? The fact that there's no woman, then the ugly woman automatically gets like you're just
she's
like,
hot.
She's hot, even though she's not.
Hot, bro. Yep.
But everybody around her is hideous. So you're just like,
so like the mediocre chick is hot.
Yeah, so you're like, oh shit, did you see, whatever, fucking, she has all her teeth. Like, she wears makeup. It's like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, dude, so that's going to be the other thing, man. It's like, and because, and being in a predominantly male environment, right? Now you're like a hot commodity. So even if you're a hot commodity, period. Just because of the sheer number of guys.
Yo, does the military make women go on birth control when they join the military?
No.
Automatically? No. I guess you couldn't, right?
Well, you know what? I'm saying no. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yo, because you know how the Olympics just go around handing out condoms because you have...
because you have...
I would imagine...
World-class athletes.
Yeah, but I would imagine the military, it's not even world-class athletes, but you do have young people at the peak of probably their physical fitness that they will ever be in, right?
Yep.
And you know, like high levels of testosterone and high level, you know, like the hormones are through the roof because, you know, your sort of adrenaline's always on high. Again, people are...
Yeah, you think you're if you're a guy, you think you're a badass.
You think you're a badass. Yeah. I wouldn't say like it would seem to me that you would treat that shit the same way. So the submarines should have fucking cardboard beds and.
I would imagine when once this becomes sort of normal, there's condoms on the boat.
I would think so.
Like you have to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean. Yeah, but then...
And I'm calling it a boat, the sub. But
the
same thing.
same
thing applies to like an aircraft carrier, right? There's women on there, like they have to be. I've never been on a carrier, never been on a sub, so I can't speak to it. But there absolutely has to be condoms available on the ship.
Yeah, dude.
At all times
for the underwater freak off party. Yo, you know what just dawned on me, bro? Do you remember Diddy was singing all about the Benjamins and we thought he was talking about money? What if he really met guys named Benjamin? And we're this whole time we're like, yo.
You digress.
Sorry, man. I can't stop thinking about
You're gonna think about fucking 10 more things.
Yo, you know how crazy, but I'm saying, you know how wild these freak offs gotta be that Mace went to these parties several times and went, I need Jesus.
I mean, literally,
and just left. He just left fortune, fame.
Well, there you go.
And all that to fucking
Mace did it. Why couldn't the rest of you motherfuckers do it?
Nah, Mace did it after he got his freak off a couple times. And he had a couple of shots. Probably. Like,
he got PTSD when he see a fucking baby oil.
Nah, you can only use penicillin so many times before it loses its efficacy. He was like, nah. Bro, oh, fuck, man. Yeah, anyway. I don't even know if you're, we were talking about this before. This is going to sound insulting. I'm trying, but it's not how I mean it. But you know how we were speaking a few months back about how, like, the guy next to you in the military, do you want him to be from the draft? Do you want him to be?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, man. I got to say, like, if you're a guy and you're in combat and there's a woman next to you, like, I'm sure there are some women. Like, I can think of women or girls as I was growing up.
Oh, some badass girls.
Like, some badass girls. Yeah. Like we were playing, like, pickup basketball or something. I'm like, nah, I got her. Yeah, I knew she could ball or whatever. Like, and I'd imagine the military is very similar. But you go, those are, like, the one, and I don't know. Not all of them are badasses. Like, if you're a dude, or do you just like, nah, fuck it, man, she down for the cause, so I don't care how strong she is.
It's not necessarily about strength.
It sounds sexist, but I think it's like a valid point of, like.
I think you also think about, like, when you say, it's almost like when you think about military, you maybe you get a picture in your head of you two people in a foxhole and you got guns and you're fucking shooting. Like, that is true. Right? Yeah. If you're in a sub, you just want somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Dude, maybe you do want women if you're in a sub because, tinier to take less weight, there's less stress on this sub. But also,
I don't think the weight matters. But
ain't you trying to find shit? They're gonna find everything, bro. So maybe that's why you need them in there, and then you're just trying to be quicker to press the button. You got to fit through small spaces.
You just want I think in a situation like that, it's no different than your job now, where you just want somebody next to you that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, true. Okay.
You're not out there.
And in that case, it's mostly women you want next to you, then, because then guys are just hotheads, and we're all just like.
No, man. What my experience in the military, man, there was. The majority of people that I serve with, men and women, they had their shit together, man, for the most part. And then you got your fuck ups like any other job, like, you know what? But I found that a lot of people wanted like they wanted to have the shit together. They wanted to try. They wanted to get promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was, or most people weren't trying to sort of stay stagnant. When you get into the military, like, it's always like what's my next rank and how do I get there?
Dude, is it like you said, like regular jobs now where you wonder how like fucking 70% of these people are still employed, and then the other thing you're like, all right, man, you guys are cool.
I wouldn't say 70%, but yeah, I mean you have.
It probably has a better success rate.
You
you
do
because
have
they wean
those,
out the fucking weak ones.
Yeah, and you do have those people where you go like, how did you get here? But for the most part, man, the people, at least in my experience, man, the people that were above me for the most part were really good guys and girls, and you could tell like, yo, like they got this shit together, and they were able to kind of teach you and mentor you into getting to the next step, whatever that was.
Yeah, because you like most of us work in places where you wonder how people stay employed.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Because like, what's the unemployment rate at right now? I don't even know what it is. The unemployment rate is usually like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah,
or 5.5.
Yeah, it doesn't fluctuate that
Which
much.
means 95% of people have jobs.
Yeah.
Bro, 95% of the people I know don't deserve jobs. It's a great fucking number if it's 5%. Like,
yeah, we're pretty good here.
Yeah, it's pretty
What the fuck are we complaining about?
Yeah. What are we crying about?
I got new quarterbacks fucking painting their nails and shit like that, man. So
probably going to the Diddy party, bro. That's how Diddy like him. That paint your nail.
Dude, talk to me about this blind side shit.
Mike.
What's going on with our boy Elon?
Elon fucking back in the news finally on something positive again, because Elon's been a wild boy lately, man.
I think Trump called him Leon.
Did he call him Leon? Yo, actually, now that you say that, I saw some funny ass shit. Not to keep talking about fucking Trump, but Nicky Jam, Nicky Jam.
I saw that.
Did you see the clip?
I fucking saw that,
bro.
Tell the people.
Oh my God, bro. He goes, Nicky Jam, Latin superstar Nicky Jam endorsed me. You know how beautiful she is.
Yeah, he says she's so hot.
She's so hot. Yeah. You know how hot she is. She's so hot. Come up here. And then if you guys know who Nicky Jam is, it's a fucking like 6'2" dude, right? It's like, so fucking I walk up there, right? It's Nicky Jam. And he goes like, oh, good thing I had you walk up. Like, he doesn't even know.
He doesn't know who it is.
Who the fuck it is. Which he shouldn't. I'm not saying he should.
No, but he should if he's gonna fucking mention the person.
Correct. He shouldn't be going to mention, but it also, to me, it speaks to the fucking clownery that is these celebrities that endorse on both sides. I'm not just picking on the ones that endorse Trump.
If you're Nicky Jam, do you go?
I'm recanting my fucking endorsement, bro. Like, fuck this guy. You didn't even know who I was. Like,
but you were willing to use my name for votes.
Yeah, and Nicky Jam walks up there with a fucking MAGA hat on, and he's smiling, and he's just happy to be there and shit. And I'm like, what a fucking cornball. Like, I would have refused to go up at that point. So like you said, like, I don't care. I think it speaks to
it's like you guys didn't even fucking brief him about what I look like or who I was,
so many
or that I was male.
Yeah, right. Like, he couldn't even get my gender right. Like, the fuck is wrong? Like, I've seen so many of these people just going in and endorsing politicians and going ham, and I'm like, these guys don't know who you are. They're trying to win votes of the people that follow you. You can't be this naive, like, on both sides. It's fucking.
Did you see Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I saw her write a fucking dissertation to tell us that she's supporting
voting for Kamala.
Just tell us she's voting for Kamala, bro. Like,
did you see Trump? Trump was like, I hate Taylor Swift.
Which, again, I'm like, that's funny, Trump. I go, just one line.
Yeah,
I hate
funny.
Taylor Swift. Just leaves it at that. And you're like, where the fuck is that going? Like, it's funny. I'm like, it's just, man, I'm trying to think of a word that doesn't sound fucking like a racist, but I don't know a better word. It's like, like the, fuck. No, I got to think of a better one. That's like, dude, I think it's fucking embarrassing as a celebrity when you get publicly used like that because of your position. Like, like you see these guys do it all the time for politicians who clearly don't give a fuck about you. It's like, like I think we mentioned on here before. I'm like, believing politicians care about you is like thinking the stripper actually likes you.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's just, but to see it
that's
done
a really good analogy
at that level, at like to someone famous and that blatant, like when he does that to Nicky Jam, it's like, it's so embarrassing, and it's such a, And it was such a prime example of like how much you don't matter, and then you guys just look like fucking cornballs, like wearing merch and going all in, getting all fucking, lecturing people on social media and all this stuff over someone who doesn't even know who you are, and not famous, and you've endorsed them, and you're at their event, and they're supposed to bring you on stage, and they don't even take the time to know who you are.
I think that's a piece right there, right? Like I don't mind, and we'll just use Nicky Jam in this case. Yo, you're a Trump supporter. Like,
yeah. Knock yourself out. I don't give a fuck who you support. Yeah.
But the fact that you're coming out publicly to then attempt to get him more votes, and then like you said, and then they're going to use you to bring you on stage, and then the guy is not even prepped about who you are.
Yeah, at least fake it. I'm not saying Trump should have known, but at least fake it. Like, at least show me that respect. But it's like, to me, it's like that's how little they think about you. Right. Or just that you just aren't worthy of him even memorizing the fact that you're a guy, not a girl.
Yeah, you're a tool at this point.
Yeah, you are. And so I wonder at what point do these celebrities just stop fucking embarrassing themselves like that? Because it is just Nicki. I don't want to pick on him because he wasn't the one who thought he was, they got it wrong, but it just, I saw it a lot over the last week or two on both sides.
Yep.
And like you said, you're just a tool, and you can't be this fucking naive, and your PR teams can't be this naive, and you have to know that you're not swaying the election, but you're certainly convincing people who follow you, who look up to you, who think to go like, oh, I'm going to vote for this guy. And now you're like telling people basically vote for a guy who doesn't even know that I'm a guy. But you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. That's just embarrassing. Or even Taylor Swift.
Did you see if anything came out from him afterwards?
I know. No, I think, bro, if you're him, right? Like that's got to be super embarrassing, right? Like I would think. But he just goes on stage and just smiles and just does his thing. Yeah. And and listen, man, Nicky Jam has. You're talking earlier about people we listened to growing up and all that stuff. Nicky Jam was a big part of sort of my teenage years and listened to a lot of music. And then he fell off. No one's had like a better redemption story in Latin reggaeton and stuff than Nicky Jam, because he disappeared off the face of the earth for years, had drug problems and money problems down, and then came back a handful of years ago with just some of the biggest hits he's ever had and got his life cleaned up and so like he's someone who has, I think, been endearing to sort of the Latin community again in the last couple of years, and was like well respected. And so I think you hate to see it happen to a guy like that. Like even if he would have, been endorsing Kamala and she does that to him, like it's just disappointing to see. I think these guys who do have platforms get used like that. Like it's just it's cringy, man. Yeah, it's weird.
Very much so. Yeah, how we doing on time, bro?
We're at an hour at 1 minute.
All right, fuck it. You know what? Let's leave the blind side for next time.
All right.
Hit me with this divorce rate. Let's close it off with these divorce rates. I'm anxious to see what this is.
Okay.
What is this story about?
Oh, so it's basically just the divorce rates. I was looking at this article, and it was the divorce rates amongst couples, but it broke it down between like genders. So it was like the divorce rates between men and women. What do you think that is?
Oh, so like, hold on. So when you say genders, you talking about like men and women, women and women,
women and women, men and men. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, men and women divorce rates.
They're high. What is it like? Is it like 60%, 70%?
42%. So we always say like half 42? Of marriages fail. Yeah.
Oh, 40%.
So half of marriages, men and women fail.
Dude, that's better than I thought.
And I think it has gotten better in years because I think less people. So I think what's happened in the last like decade or so is less people are getting married, and so then the people that do get married tend to stay married a little more than before. 42% is still fucking terrible, bro. If there was a plane that you flew that only landed 42% of the time,
never getting on it.
We're never fucking getting on it, right? But marriage is one of those things where we're like, but this will be the one. Like, cute. Yeah. And it's like the one thing that the world keeps convincing us to do over and over that has like a shitty success rate.
Do you get married if you're not gonna have kids? Do you get married?
If you're not gonna have, that's an interesting question. I think so. I don't know that part matters as much for some people.
No, there are.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're looking for in a marriage.
Yeah. I know couples that get married and neither one want kids.
And neither one want kids. But I also think I think you don't necessarily have to. I think there's also people who want married who just want to have that partner in life, like you said, and who don't want kids. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like so for me, it wouldn't be a determining factor.
So why get married?
I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
No. Yeah. Right? Like I'm just Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
So
no. To your point, I guess to your point, I think it depends, right? Like I think the there's a religious component of it, right? Like that people believe in. There's a romanticized component of it that people believe in. There's a control freak. Cinderella. You know, there's the controlled person in there that wants to like, no, I know you're mine. You know, just because it's on paper, they feel better about it. There's I think there's the romantic part where you feel like you found your person, and maybe that's how you feel like you're gonna. I think the reason varies. Like there's such a wide gamut of it. I think a lot of people hide behind sort of the religious component of it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's funny, man. I could make arguments on both sides of like, there's no need to involve the government. Like we want as little government involvement in every part of our lives, except we're like, no, but I wanted to prove that I love you. You know, it's like a really bizarre way. Dude, you got to think about the person who invented marriage was if you think about the story, it's like, I like you so much, I want to get paperwork involved, is a fucking creepy sentiment to have, or like a very bizarre thing, but it's stood the test of time, man. We do it over and over and over again. And no matter how many times we do it and how many times it tells us it's gonna fail, we're all like, nah, but this is the one. You know what I mean? Like it's just
But this time.
It's funny, man. I don't know what that is, bro. I don't know if it's like the belief in a happily ever after, or the whatever it is, the psychological need to want that or need that. Yeah. It's interesting,
right, so
man.
Let's go back to this. So men and women, 42%.
Yeah, men and men. What do you think that is?
Dude, I think it's low.
28%. So
yeah,
not bad.
I was gonna say, I think dudes and fuck, man, like I don't know what the mentality of like a gay man is.
It's the same one as a straight man. I've met enough gay men,
right? And that's what I would say too, right? But I can't speak for all of them, right? But it just goes like, I don't know, like guys.
You're talking about like wants and needs.
Guys
and what
just
they
seem
want?
to get along, right? Right. You kind of have the same wants and needs, and then maybe there's not. With women and men, I find that women tend to. Like they tend to think that men should just know. So they maybe at certain times they're sort of bad communicators because they feel like men
women are bad communicators.
Oh, absolutely. So because they feel like in certain cases, and I'm not speaking for everyone, I'm not speaking for all of them, but it's just like
I'm not saying I disagree either.
It's just like I think there are things that maybe go unsaid, that maybe they'd go like, oh, well, you should know. Like if you've been with me long enough, or you love me, you should know. And it's like, no, I don't know shit. Like you have to fucking tell me. I really don't. Because,
I'm a shitty communicator.
Because we think we think very different, right?
For sure.
Men are very logical about stuff, and women are more emotional. It's not one is bad and one is good. It's just that it's just different. And so, like that book, fucking what's the one, man? The
Men Are From Mars,
Women Are From Venus. That one, right? And that one goes into detail of just like, we think different, we communicate different.
Yeah, and literally.
You literally have to go, hey, in order for me to be happy, or I need these things, and when you did X, it made me feel this, and like if you don't tell me, then I don't know. And sometimes when women will get they'll get mad at us or something that we did, and we're like, well, what the fuck did I do? And it's like, well, like you should know. And it's like, no, we don't know shit. So I can see that, right?
Yeah.
Women and women highest.
Oh. Okay, so highest, you're right. How
is it right?
Do you think it is? No, you're right. Women. So divorce rate, men and women, 42%. Men and men, 28%. What do you think the divorce rate is between women and women? Just take a guess.
75%.
Ooh, you're not that far off. It's 72. Wow. Yeah. I think in conclusion, women are the problem. We've been telling y'all forever, but you just ain't want to listen.
Oh, you know what? Wait.
Are you about to prove a point on air?
I'm gonna fucking.
Who you calling?
No, I'm not calling anybody. I saw something on Instagram recently, and it's kind of funny, but there's probably truth behind it.
Man.
And I'm about to pull this shit up. Bear with me.
You know what though? I respect it, because I think in terms of like a lot of the women that I know will say like, no, like I know I'm this way or we're this way or like there's a self-awareness there. And listen, for guys, we should have it because there's a lot of shit wrong with us too. Or I shouldn't say wrong, but like there's just a very big difference in like mindset and like how we think. And so like I always love the women who are like very self-aware about that, who are just like, no, I'm gonna be unreasonable, but it is what it is. You just got to deal with it.
Right. Cool. And yo, not for nothing, bro. Like we're good with that.
Yeah.
Like
as long as you know you're being unreasonable. Yeah.
And then you could be like, yo, this is one of those times, right? It's just like, yeah, I know, but yeah, but I can respect I just need this thing right now. Yeah. I'm good with that. Yo, all right, here it goes.
Go.
All right. So it says, remember, it takes two people to ruin a relationship. So blame her and her mother for raising her that way.
Good enough for me.
You did nothing wrong, champ.
I needed to hear that today.
And on that, tell them where they can find us.
Not at any more Diddy freak offs because that motherfucker got locked up, so no more fun. At the Carbon Food Podcast on IG, on Facebook, the Carbon Food Podcast, on YouTube, the Carbon Food Podcast, on X at Carbon FP Pod, at Carbon Food Podcast on TikTok, and then all your favorite audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Audible, Geo Savingana, Pocket Chaser, TuneIn, Radiocast, fucking all of them. Just go on there, ask your smart device to play us, leave a review. If especially if you listen through Apple Podcasts and Spotify, leave us a review. The algorithm, it does help a lot if you leave a review. So the more reviews you guys leave, the algorithm sort of starts to favor the pod and will recommend it to people who sort of like have the same stuff. So rate our pod and then rate other pods that you listen to, and it'll get us into some of those algorithms with the popular ones that you guys all listen to. So help us out.
And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.